Have you ever felt like English conversations are just a blur of sounds? Like everyone around you is speaking at light speed, while your brain struggles to catch up? You're not alone in this struggle, and today's story might just be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Welcome back to LMJ English, where we transform your language journey through powerful stories that inspire and teach. I'm thrilled you've joined us today for The Silent Breakthrough, a remarkable story about overcoming one of the biggest challenges in language learning. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to never miss our daily stories that are helping thousands of English learners just like you. Now let's meet Sarah and discover how she revolutionized her English listening skills. The invisible wall, Sarah's struggle. Sarah Peterson stared at her computer screen with growing anxiety. Another virtual meeting with the international team was scheduled for tomorrow morning. While her colleagues seemed excited about these global collaborations, Sarah only felt dread. For 5 years, she had studied English diligently, memorizing vocabulary lists, mastering grammar rules, and even scoring high on written tests. Yet whenever native English speakers began talking, their words would blend together into an incomprehensible stream of sounds. "I know these words individually," she would tell herself, "so why can't I understand them when they're spoken?" This frustration followed her everywhere. At company meetings, she would nod and smile, pretending to follow conversations while feeling completely lost. During team lunches, she would laugh when others laughed, though she rarely understood the jokes. The isolation was becoming unbearable, and her confidence was crumbling despite all her hard work. Sarah's breaking point came during an important presentation with clients from London. When asked a direct question, she froze completely, unable to process what was being asked. The awkward silence that followed was devastating. That evening, Sarah returned home and cried, wondering if she would ever truly understand spoken English. She had hit the invisible wall that many language learners face, the gap between knowing a language on paper and understanding it in real life. What invisible wall have you hit in your English learning journey? Have you ever felt the frustration Sarah experienced? Share your story in the comments below. A new approach, breaking traditional habits? The day after her embarrassing meeting experience, Sarah was scrolling through videos online when she stumbled upon something interesting. "Focus on meaning, not words," said the English teacher in the video. This simple statement stopped Sarah in her tracks. For years, she had been doing exactly the opposite, trying to catch and translate every single word, panicking when she missed even one. Sarah decided to try a different approach. Instead of her usual textbook study, she found a short, simple story in English about a family vacation. Following the advice from the video, she listened to it without looking at the transcript. The first time through, she understood almost nothing. Fighting her instinct to give up, she played it again and again. By the 5th time, something unexpected happened. She began to grasp the general meaning, even though many individual words remained unclear. Encouraged by this small success, Sarah developed a new routine. Every morning she would listen to the same story 5 times before work. She would close her eyes, focusing only on the sounds and rhythms rather than trying to translate. After a week with the same story, she was shocked to discover she could understand almost all of it. The words had stopped being separate entities and had begun forming natural patterns in her mind. Sarah expanded her practice by listening to the stories while cooking dinner, cleaning her apartment, or walking to work. This background listening allowed her brain to process English without the pressure of perfect comprehension. She stopped worrying about grammar rules and instead focused on chunks, common phrases that native speakers use as single units rather than individual words. Have you ever tried repeating the same audio multiple times rather than always seeking new content? What differences did you notice in your comprehension? Let us know in the comment section. The turning point. Small victories build confidence. 3 weeks into her new listening practice, Sarah noticed something different during her morning coffee run. The barista, a chatty Australian man, asked her the usual questions about her order. But this time Sarah understood him perfectly. She responded naturally, without that panicked mental translation that had always tripped her up before. It was her small interaction, barely 2 minutes long, but it felt like climbing Mount Everest. Emboldened by this success, Sarah began seeking out more opportunities to listen to English. She joined an online conversation group where learners practiced with native speakers. During the first session, she understood about 60% of what was said, not perfect, but dramatically better than before. Instead of feeling discouraged about the 40% she missed, she celebrated the progress. Sarah discovered another powerful technique: visualization. When listening to stories or conversations, she would create mental images of what was being described. This shifted her brain's focus from language processing to actual meaning. When someone described a beach vacation, Sarah wouldn't try to translate each word, but would instead picture the waves, sand, and sunshine. This mental connection helped her brain create stronger memories of the language. The biggest challenge came when Sarah's boss asked her to join a conference call with American partners. In the past, such calls had been her worst nightmare. This time, armed with her new listening skills, Sarah prepared differently. Instead of rehearsing what she might say, she found recordings of American business conversations and listened to them repeatedly the day before. During the actual call, while she still missed some details, she followed the main discussion and even contributed a few points. Her boss noticed the difference and complimented her improved communication skills afterward. What small English victory have you experienced that boosted your confidence? Was there a moment when you suddenly realized you were understanding more than before? Share your experience by commenting below. The ripple effect. Beyond just listening. 6 months into Sarah's listening revolution, the changes extended far beyond just understanding spoken English. Her speaking had improved dramatically as well. By training her ear to recognize the natural rhythm and intonation patterns of English, she began naturally incorporating these elements into her own speech. Colleagues who had previously struggled to understand her accented English remarked on how much clearer she sounded. Sarah's professional life transformed as a result. She began volunteering for international projects that she would have avoided before. During a company retreat, she participated actively in discussions and even told a joke that made everyone laugh, a moment of inclusion that brought tears to her eyes later that night. Her manager noticed her newfound confidence and put her in charge of client communications with English-speaking partners, a responsibility that came with a small raise. The methods that had helped Sarah overcome her listening barrier proved useful in other areas of her life as well. The patience she had developed through repeated listening transferred to how she approached difficult work problems. The focus on meaning rather than perfection helped her become more effective in her communication. Overall, even her relationships improved as she became a more attentive listener in her native language too. Sarah began sharing her techniques with other language learners. She started a small study group at her company for colleagues struggling with English. Her simple advice, "Don't try to understand every word, just feel the message," became their mantra. Watching others overcome the same frustrations she had faced gave Sarah a sense of purpose beyond her own success. Perhaps most importantly, Sarah's relationship with English changed fundamentally. What had once been a source of anxiety and shame became a source of pride and even joy. She found herself listening to English podcasts for pleasure, not just practice, and enjoying English language movies without the constant stress of missing dialogue. The language had transformed from an obstacle to an opportunity. How has improving one aspect of your English changed other areas of your life? Has becoming a better listener in English affected how you listen in your native language? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. A continuous journey, the path ahead. 1 year after beginning her listening transformation, Sarah received an unexpected opportunity. Her company needed someone to represent them at a 3-day conference in Chicago. In the past, Sarah would have found an excuse to decline, terrified of navigating an entirely English-speaking environment. This time she volunteered immediately. Though still nervous, she trusted her improved skills and the techniques she had developed. The conference proved challenging but manageable. Sarah understood most presentations, participated in networking events, and even gave a short speech about her company's services. There were still moments of confusion and words she didn't catch, but these no longer paralyzed her. Instead of dwelling on what she missed, she focused on what she understood and used context clues to fill in the gaps. Upon returning home, Sarah reflected on her journey. She hadn't achieved perfect English comprehension and realized she probably never would. Even native speakers occasionally misunderstand each other. The difference was that she had developed the resilience and strategies to handle these situations with confidence rather than fear. Her goal had shifted from perfect understanding to effective communication. Sarah continued refining her techniques. She discovered that different accents required different kinds of practice, so she created a library of recordings featuring speakers from various English-speaking countries. She learned that technical discussions demanded more focused attention than casual conversations. Most importantly, she accepted that listening comprehension would always be a work in progress, not a destination but a continuing journey. The habits Sarah developed became as natural as brushing her teeth. 10 minutes of focused listening, practice each morning. English radio playing softly while she prepared dinner, seeking out new accents and speech patterns to challenge herself. These small, consistent actions maintained and strengthened her skills far more effectively than occasional intensive study sessions had done in the past. What ongoing habits have you developed to maintain your English skills? Do you have a daily practice that has proven particularly effective? Share your routine with our community by commenting below. And that brings us to the end of Sarah's remarkable journey from frustration to fluency. Her story shows us that with the right approach, patience and consistent practice, the walls between you and English comprehension can truly come down. Remember, it's not about understanding every word, but about training your brain to process meaning naturally. What part of Sarah's story resonated with you the most? Did you pick up some techniques you'll try in your own learning journey? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. And if you found this story helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might be struggling with English listening. Don't forget to subscribe to LMJ English for more inspiring stories and practical language tips delivered to you daily. Click that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for joining us today, and remember, your breakthrough moment might be closer than you think. See you in our next story. Key vocabulary: breakthrough, noun, an important discovery or event, that helps to improve a situation or provide an answer to a problem. Example: Sarah's new approach to listening was the breakthrough she needed in her language journey. Comprehension, noun, the ability to understand something. Example: her listening comprehension improved dramatically after she started focusing on meaning rather than words. Dread, noun, verb. Great fear or apprehension about something that is going to happen. Example: Sarah felt dread whenever she had to attend meetings in English. Frustration, noun, the feeling of being upset or annoyed as a result of being unable to change or achieve something. Example: her frustration grew each time she failed. To understand native speakers. Incomprehensible, adjective, impossible to understand. Example: fast-paced English conversations seemed incomprehensible to Sarah at first. Visualization, noun, the formation of a mental image of something. Example: using visualization techniques helped Sarah connect words with their meanings. Transformation, noun, a complete change in someone or something. Example: Sarah underwent a remarkable transformation in her approach to language learning. Resilience. Noun, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Example: she developed resilience in facing challenging listening situations. Crumbling, verb, gradually falling apart or disintegrating. Example: Sarah's confidence was crumbling despite all her hard work studying English. Emboldened, adjective, having become more confident or brave. Example: emboldened by her small success, Sarah sought out more opportunities to practice. Stumble upon, phrasal verb, to find or discover something by chance. Example: Sarah stumbled upon the video that would change her approach to English. Devastating, adjective, causing severe shock, distress, or grief. Example: the awkward silence during the meeting was devastating to her self-esteem. Technique, noun, a way of carrying out a particular task. Example: the chunking technique helped Sarah process English more naturally. Isolation, noun, the condition of being alone or separated from others. Example: her inability to understand conversations led to feelings of isolation. Intonation, noun, the rise and fall of the voice in speaking. Example: by listening carefully, Sarah began to recognize the natural intonation patterns of English. Diligently, adverb, in a way that shows care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties. Example: Sarah had studied English diligently for 5 years. Panicking, verb, feeling or showing sudden uncontrollable fear or anxiety. Example: she would stop panicking when she missed words and instead focus on context. Incorporating, verb, including something as part of something larger. Example: Sarah began incorporating the rhythms she heard into her own speech. Intensive, adjective, concentrated on a single area or subject for a short period of time. Example: small daily practices proved more effective than occasional intensive. Study sessions. Fundamentally, adverb, in a way that affects the essential nature of something. Example: her relationship with English changed fundamentally from fear to enjoyment.